Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to the ladies for a minute. Now, see, there's a moment every woman has faced, or gonna face, where that man who went ghost, Mr. Disappear without a trace, pops back up, texts you at 11:46 p.m., talking about, hey, stranger, ain't said boo in months. You check your phone twice because you like, is this for real? Yeah, baby, it's real. He's back. Let me explain something right now. Silence ain't the same thing as sincerity. A man go quiet on you for weeks. Don't call, don't text, don't show up. And then out of nowhere, he popped back up like, hey. See, that hey got no weight behind it. That ain't no act of love. That's an act of convenience. And you gotta be smart enough, grown enough, and loved up on yourself enough to know the difference. Because here's what silence really is. Silence is a decision. It's not an accident. Nobody accidentally disappears. We don't accidentally forget people we care about. You don't accidentally not check in on somebody you say you love. You ever had somebody say, I've just been going through something? Yeah, that sounds noble, but if somebody truly cares about you, they gonna make space for you even in the storm. When a man is sincere, he don't let silence stand between y'all. He might be going through it, but he'll reach out. Even if it's just to say, I'm struggling, but I haven't forgotten you. That's sincerity. But some of y'all hear silence and fill in the blanks. You start making up reasons for him. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's overwhelmed. Maybe he just needs time. Nah, baby, don't do the emotional labor for him. If he ain't say it, don't assume it. Silence tells you everything you need to know, not just about his interests, but about his maturity, about his effort, about his emotional capacity. Sincerity don't go ML. Sincerity shows up, checks in, and communicates. So when he returns after a vanishing act, don't confuse that return with revival. Returning don't mean repenting. Silence ain't love. It's absence. Don't confuse the two. Let me tell you something, and I need every woman in here to hear this deep. Just because he left, just because he went silent, just because he stopped calling, stopped showing up, that don't mean your value went down. That ain't how this works. A man's absence doesn't determine your worth. Your worth was set before he even showed up. You were valuable before he texted you, before he kissed you, before he ever called you baby. And you're valuable after he goes ghost too. See, some of y'all start thinking, what did I do wrong? Was I too much? Was I not enough? Stop that. Don't start questioning your shine because somebody else put on sunglasses. He couldn't handle your light. And that's not your fault. That's his limitation. A real man gonna recognize what you bring to the table and pull up a chair, not run. You know what's wild? Sometimes silence from him will get so loud in your head that you forget how powerful you are. You start waiting, hoping, holding on to the idea of him, not the reality. Let me be real with you. His silence ain't a reflection of you. It's a reflection of his confusion, his immaturity, his inconsistency. You're still brilliant, still fine, still capable, still loving, still chosen, still heard. And don't go thinking that your value is tied to whether or not he comes back. Whether he shows up or stays gone, you're the prize. You ain't some clearance rack last minute pick me up. You top shelf. You boutique. You limited edition. So the next time he reaches out after silence, Don't sit there wondering if you're still enough, baby. You were always enough. He just wasn't equipped to handle it. That's not your burden to carry. Now look, I know how it feels when that phone lights up with his name after he been in my ear for a minute. Your heart start racing. Your fingers itch to type back. Your mind running faster than a cheetah on espresso. You want to hit him with a paragraph, or maybe hit him with some shade, or maybe you just want to hear why he vanished. But I'm going to tell you this. The most powerful thing you can do in that moment is pause. Don't react, respond. And you don't respond until you've taken your time to think, to breathe, and to remember who the hell you are. See, reacting is emotional. It's that knee-jerk, I missed you too, or where you been, or I knew you'd come back. But a response is thoughtful. It's strategic. It's rooted in your power, not your pain. When you pause, you take the energy out of his hands and put it back in yours. You remind yourself that you're not at the mercy of a man's text message. You remind yourself that he had time to disappear. Now you got time to decide. People respect what you respect in yourself. If you jump back in every time he pops up, he learns he ain't got to try. He learns he can leave and you'll be right there when he's ready. But when you pause, when you don't rush to respond, that's when he feels the weight of your standards. That's when he realizes you ain't some emotional vending machine. You're a whole woman with dignity and options. Control your power. Don't give it away for a little attention. Every time you wait to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion, you teach him and remind yourself that your time, your heart, and your peace are not just available on demand. All right, now, listen closely. When a man comes back after going ghost, after disappearing like a magician with no finale, the first thing you need to ask yourself ain't, why did he leave? Nah, it's, what's different now? Because if nothing's changed, then you ain't got nothing new on the table, just leftovers. See, time passed, but did he grow? That's the question. Did he learn anything in that silence? Did he do any soul searching? Did he figure out how to communicate like a man instead of vanishing like a boy? And don't let him fool you with that "I miss you" line. That ain't change. That's nostalgia. That's just him wanting to taste the sweetness he walked away from without asking if he deserves it now. You got to be honest with yourself. What's different in you two? Are you still longing for his potential, or are you ready to hold out for his reality? Because if he left messy and came back with the same raggedy energy, then nothing's changed but the calendar. Don't be the one recycling the same pain, hoping for new joy. A man can come back with a new story, but stories without evidence are just fiction. So don't just listen to what he says, watch what he shows. Is he more consistent? Does he communicate clearly now? Does he take responsibility for the silence? Or is he just hoping you forgot the way he left? You ain't crazy for wondering what changed. In fact, it's the smartest question you can ask. Because without change, there's no growth. And without growth, there's no future. You can't build anything solid with a man who's still made of dust and disappearances. So when he returns, don't just open the door, open your eyes. Ask the hard question, what's different this time, and is it enough? Now let me break something down for you real plain. When he reaches out after that long stretch of silence, your first instinct might be to come from the heart. Emotions run high. You mad, confused, maybe even still holding on to a little hope. That's human. I get it. But don't lead with emotion. Lead with clarity, because emotion will write a check your peace can't cash. See, when you respond from emotion, you either come in too hot or too soft. You might fire off a text full of hurt and questions. Where you been? Why'd you leave me like that? Do you even care? Or you might slide back into the conversation like nothing ever happened, hoping not to rock the boat. But baby, either way, you just handed over your power. Clarity is different. Clarity ain't loud. Clarity don't beg. Clarity is calm, it's composed, and it's clear about what it will and won't entertain. Clarity don't ask permission to be respected. It demands it silently. When you respond with clarity, you're not looking for closure. You are the closure. You make it known that silence has a price. That disappearing and reappearing like a magician doesn't work on grown women who know their worth. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to cuss them out. You just need to be direct. If you're open to a conversation, make it known with boundaries. If you're done, make it known with finality. But don't respond until your heart has settled and your standards have stood up. Emotion wants to be heard. Clarity wants to be understood. So when that message comes through and your heart starts doing cartwheels, just remember this. The goal ain't to get it off your chest. The goal is to protect what's inside it. Your response is not about winning him back. It's about making sure you don't lose yourself again. Let me tell you something real grown. People treat you based on what you allow. It ain't about what you say you want. It's about what you tolerate. Every time you accept less than what you deserve, you're teaching that person, this is all you got to do to keep access to me. And when a man disappears, then shows back up like he just ran to the store real quick, and you welcome him back with no questions, no boundaries, no adjustments, you teaching him that silence comes with no consequences. See, folks don't just wake up disrespecting you. They learn how far they can go by watching how you respond. Every time you excuse bad behavior, every time you let someone back in without accountability, every time you answer to a hey like it's a heartfelt apology, you're giving them a syllabus on how to mistreat you and still get love in return. Let me put it like this. If you walk into a classroom and there ain't no rules, no expectations, no structure, you're going to do what you want. That's how people operate relationships too. Boundaries ain't mean. Standards ain't extra. They are the lesson plan for how you expect to be loved, respected, and valued. You want him to show up like a man, then require that. Don't just hope for it. Don't just pray for it. Set the tone. You don't have to raise your voice to raise your standards. Your silence can be louder than his apology. Your distance can speak louder than your word. A real man will rise to the level of the woman he wants, but he can't rise if you keep lowering the bar just to keep him close. When he comes back after going ghost, the way you respond, that's your teaching moment. And trust me, what you teach in that moment is what he'll carry forward.